All right, guys, we're going to cover current economics as well as current market, where we think the market is, where we think the market can go, and what these current scenarios could play out for a lot of assets as a whole. We're going to also discuss pricing and where I'm looking to get into the market as DCA positions, as well as take profit on some of these bounces. So we'll get to that in just a minute. All right, guys, getting right into the market. We're going to go ahead and look and see where things are, where they're going, and so on and so forth. So far, we've pretty much been unable to break current zone. Current zone pretty much has been right around this zone right in here. Bitcoin itself is at a very difficult, troublesome time trying to break through this area. You can see heavy resistance, obviously, the stop hunts to the upside. Market's basically trying to grab liquidity and grab out and kind of more or less smite out the shorts, right? So the shorts are getting wicked out, and that's basically what we're seeing in price action as a whole. There's not a whole lot of volume in these locations. You can see right here, BTC on the 4 hour. We're quite overextended, I would say, to an extent. We're basically, at the same time, kind of in this downtrend, I would say, as far as highs go. Could it go up? Sure, you could try and go bullish on this, but I'm telling you, this is not a safe zone to really kind of go bullish. I would also consider this kind of an incline wedge. Yes, it's kind of even, but we are moving in an uptrend on the upper part, and we're also moving in a hefty uptrend on the lower part, kind of indicating that we may be looking for a breakdown for the market. Now, keep in mind, the MM could come in and they could try and do a swift move. I would basically expect that price action / swift move. All right, guys, quick intermission. If you could like, subscribe, comment, stay up with the latest information by hitting the notification bell, and share this with your friends and family, that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. To be something like this where they would try and push up to 40, I mean, potentially even all the way up to 43K, and then shut the market down, right? Ultimately, I think we fall out of this whole wedge right here, and we're looking to come down deeper around these 30K zones that kind of pop up, and you're probably like, well, where are you getting 30K from? I'd say, as far as indications and locations and all that stuff like that, you can see bottom of market over here was all the way down here, actually technically around 28.649. So if that was bottom, I would say 30K is a fair guesstimate as far as bottom. And you're probably like, what do you mean guesstimate? Well, I mean, all educated, TA and stuff like that is basically an educated directional guess, right? As far as liquidity, they could always switch it up at the end of the day, but for the most part, nobody knows. The directional bias can always play a part in it too, but I'm trying not to have any type of directional bias and more look at, okay, how many wicks are kind of hitting the zone. It makes sense. Even though we're right here, you got a wick right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. We have really good price action in the zone. So as far as liquidity goes, again, I think we're going to break down from here and then we're going to come down deeper, just as we have on all these previous fake outs. And they love to run these markets up to take out these shorts before they end up bringing the market back down to get out the longs. And they do this in an atypical fashion, guys. Like, I wouldn't be looking at this like, oh, we're turning around or anything. There's no indication turnaround. If you look at the trend overall, guys, let's look right here at this channel. This was our bullish channel, and you can see price action ranged really high in here. We had really, really high volatility, and this downtrend has been very apparent, and it's pretty much just dead. The volatility is not there anymore. So because the volatility is not matching the bullish side, it's telling me that, people are taking their leave on the markets, guys. They're grabbing liquidity, they're pushing down, and they're just basically soaking it down. So there's no indication of a turnaround. If we were looking at it from a trend perspective, we can also look at it like this. We had multiple pushes right here. We basically had 1, boom, 2, boom, 3. And you can see each push, guys, gets weaker and weaker and weaker. And you can see that right there has created a top for the overall market. Now, while people are looking at it from this perspective, they have to zoom out, okay, and look at it from this perspective. We're in a downtrend, guys. That's where the market's at. The only way that Bitcoin actually goes and breaks out is if Bitcoin can essentially push up, probably hit this 46K, come back, find support around 41, and then we would look for upside. Other than that, we're still in a downtrend, and that's where we'll remain. So in this area, I would be looking to basically kind of step in and evaluate the market and take profit if you're still in the market. and obviously not financial advice. This is not what I give here. I just give educational videos kind of showing you different scenarios as far as how things will play out, different scenarios on how to do TA and so on and so forth. So now that we kind of see this indication of this decline on the top, right, and this price action decline, we're basically in a big incline wedge that I think ultimately is looking to break down. Now, does price have to come back to 30K? No, it does not, guys. Like, it can come all the way down to bottom of channel and hold support, right? So if it comes down to bottom of channel, hold support, what's that price? 31727. So I would say good DCA points for me, right, while I'm looking for bounces, because I do expect price to come down, bounce, come down, bounce. If that's the case, right, my DCA position, guys, are around 35. That's where I'm looking at DCA, catch a bounce. And then I would expect a push up and probably a rejection right here around 36,839 if we go deeper, right? And then if we drop there, I would expect, you know, potentially 31.7. And it really kind of depends on where we're at in the channel, right? If we're over here, you know, you can go a lot deeper, guys. So just keep that in mind too. For the most part, BTC has had no problem kind of staying within this channel as a whole. That being said, we kind of have a pretty good idea of where things are going. And if we bring it to the daily, price action's a lot easier to see here, guys. We basically kind of ran up, right? Hit that top, double top, boom, drop, price imbalance, right? Price imbalance is going to come back and fill. Boom, boom, filled the price imbalance, bounce, double bottom right here on support, broke through, boom. That's basically where we're at right now. And I'm expecting at some point for us to come back down as far as our price action. See how much easier this is when you guys zoom out to see where the market is and kind of what's going on with the market. You know, not just that, it's also the S&P too. The S&P is looking very much in a similar fashion. We want to keep in mind there's two scenarios going on with the S&P, right? We've got support and we've got resistance, guys. And that's kind of formed this X, right? So rejection can really occur here or here. There will be hesitation in this area. And if the market maker wants to come in and really grab liquidity, he might even shove this through to hit this ceiling here right around 471 before he ends up taking this back down. And I basically thought that they would do it at 450. 450 did hold as far as resistance, but there's still liquidity up here. They're trying to come back and get that liquidity. They're trying to get these people that came in and shorted the market up here, guys. They're trying to liquidate these people. They're going to liquidate these people, and then they're going to run it back down to catch these longs. That's exactly how this is going to play out. You can see right here how far overextended basically the S&P is on this small move. Look at that. Small move on the daily, and we're basically almost at the 50. You can see the rejection where we basically fell through right here. The second we fell through right here, look at that, guys. Look at that. If you'd have followed the indication of the resistance of the support, we would have basically been out before this whole drop fell. Now, once we hit that drop, we have no indication of a trend reversal. This is basically saying downtrend, and this right here is basically saying uptrend. That's telling me fake out. That's what that's telling me. So if that's what we're looking at, typically, you know, in a bullish divergence, we're looking at the opposite, guys. We're looking at the market to be going like this, or the RSI to be going like this, and the market to be going like this. That's a trend reversal, right? So right now we're basically looking at the market to be pretending to artificially be going up. And again, I think that anywhere's in the zone it can reject. And then we're going to be looking at the kind of dump back down again and probably go deeper, guys. Like I don't think we'll double bottom here. I think we'll probably go deeper. Again, we never know at the end of the day. It's all speculation, you know, but as far as the way price action looks really weak. There's a lot of stuff going on in the market as a whole. Between Biden's executive order with crypto, we've got the Fed coming out and they're basically talking about raising rates. We also had the asset accumulation by the Fed. Keep in mind too, the asset accumulation by the Fed, I believe, is around 4 trillion in assets, and all these things. And then we also have, you know, basically aid to other countries, which we utilize to deflate our own economy by inflating the other country. That's a conversation in its own that we can have another time. I would say between all these factors, there will be dates, right? I think Biden's date is around February for his executive order. And then the Fed's first meeting on potential rate hike is around March. And keep in mind, the Fed did say they would probably be looking at, a potential of a 50%, or not 50%, well, yeah, 50%, but a 50 basis point hike, right? Which is basically 50%. And then, more than likely they're looking at 0.25, I think was a 25 basis point hike. But, with a 50 basis point hike, I'd say that's pretty good potential for a huge downturn on a lot of these assets. I'll be looking for these dates and times to kind of, come into the market and use them as DCA positions. And I think a lot of you guys should consider that also, as far as your DCAs on your way in. Now, at the same time, if we're looking at the top of the market for BTC and we're looking at the current drawback, keep in mind these cycles typically end around 85% pullbacks. Can it lead to less? Sure, we'll go with like 80. That's a 13.9 Bitcoin. If we go with 75, that's basically a 17K Bitcoin. And again, like really it could kind of end anywhere, right? But I'm just trying to give you guys ideally, what this pullback could look like if we're in a bear market, which I think we are. I think we're heading that direction. I'm not trying to be biased. I'm bear or bull, guys. Like that's not at all my position. My position is to try and get everybody else the best position. So that's kind of the idea of the channel. All right. Well, with that being said, that's pretty much our overall outlook on the current market and market watch. So I'll see you guys in the next video.
Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be.